against KratorAI. So let's start innovation.
This call is now being recorded.
Start innovation in oil.
This call is now taking notes.
Let us welcome our excellent Akonji to speak to us.
All right, guys. Good evening. I think I've been struggling to hear Israel very well. Yeah, I think that's because I don't know. So I want to confirm if everyone can hear me clearly. Can you hear me?
Yeah, this one is better. Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
I'll just drop an emoji. So good evening, everyone. So I can think. Let me just do. Okay. Okay. So I think how are we all doing? I hope we're all doing well. Can you see my screen like this? Can we see my screen? All right. All right, guys. So I believe everyone can see my screen, right? So my name is Emmanuel Excellence, and I'm the co-founder of GIOGUIDE. So in this session, I'll be walking us through from zero to building the story behind KratorAI. Yeah, and this is specialized for the talent pipeline cohort mentorship session. So once again, I congratulate every one of you that have made it up to this stage, because I believe it is not everyone that started that got to this point. Yeah. So it was just around 50 people that was selected. So congratulations to everyone. And okay, so this evening I'll be sharing from zero, just like you've heard from my co-founder, that is Emmanuel, and from Israel. So here I am, Emmanuel Excellence. I'm the co-founder of GeoGuide, and I will start from how the idea actually started. How does it start? So I remember after school, when we were in school, after school, when I was in school, I did a lot of projects. Like I went into building some projects on my own end. Number one was, I think Cat was part of it. I think some people that are in 500 level in OU, some of them should have heard of Cat before, great scale, and so on like that. So these are the projects that we try to do. Then after school, then there's a question of what is the next to do. I know some of you are already asking yourself that question already. So that was the same question we're asking ourselves too. What's the next thing? And I remember while I was seeking direction from God, and I was actually praying. That it was prayer. I was just praying. Then an idea just popped up within me, and the idea was, is the first concept was Gem AI, and is about building a platform that people can generate professional headshots. So, and actually me too on Facebook. I remember those time I was active on Facebook, so I do posts headshots, like my picture. I will transform it to another professional pictures, like looking like me but with AI this time around. So now this is not brought about the vision that, okay, create this platform and open it up, let people be using, because I got messages and comment on Facebook then that, well, man, show us how are you generating this, because I always tell them that it is AI generated and it is not real. Some of them were like, show us how can we generate this thing, that they need something like this so that they can be able to post along with their content. People are not really even reacting to their content because of this. So that was what bettered the first concept, which is what Gen AI. Now, so then while I was thinking about it and I was meditating on this project again, because I've already built projects past time, and none of them is really working out. Then this is another one again. Then I was just thinking, and I had a call with a friend, and is Emmanuel. So I had a phone call with a friend on a personal identity shared vision. So we're discussing. He was discussing about his own part too, about how he's thinking about how he wants to go about his life, something like that, because we are very close friends. So and he's not Emmanuel now, and he's my co-founder of GIOGUIDE. So that was where we discussed about this project, where it shifted from the end shot to business flyers, which was driven by market needs. And let me quickly tell us a short story behind this, from the end shot to the business flyers of the thing. It just came as an short project. So I decided to work on it. So I discussed it with Emmanuel, and I told him very clear on the call. I said, Emmanuel, this idea is very simple, but it is crazy. That's what I told him. I said, this idea is very simple, but it is crazy the way I'm looking at it. And even me too, I didn't understand at that point. I just wanted to build something that people can use. So it's very simple but crazy. Then Emmanuel requested that, okay, build something and let's see what you are thinking, because I was just explaining, it was not really very clear. I mean, so I decided to build something, and that was where I started building. So I built the Gen AI, generate headshots, generate something, just generate a picture. And along this journey, I think I'll walk us through what KratorAI is, because I will still walk us what KratorAI is as we continue. So to cut the story short, then I built something within, I think it was just within less than a week. I showed it to Emmanuel, and we saw that this thing was actually very good. They'll begin to think that what can it become? What is the projection of this project? They'll begin to think, and began to look into industry. So now, in that place now, there's one thing I want us to learn from that. Most ideas don't arrive fully formed. They evolve through conversation and action. Take note of that. I know, let me quickly share this before I continue. I remember on that call, I stated something that Emmanuel actually told me something that changed my mentality regarding that. I told him that, Emmanuel, I don't want people to know about this idea. This idea is still new. I want it to stay big. So I want to keep it. The Emmanuel was like, don't you know that this time around, idea is not what something you can just be keeping. In fact, because many people have this idea and some of them died with this idea, they were not able to come up with something tangible with the idea. So the conversation between me and him was what triggered the action behind bringing this thing into reality. If not, maybe the idea will still be in my head, thinking and trying to look for one or two things to do and to come up with something or better still, just like Execat and GIOGUIDE. And I would say, Execat and Grayscale, because Grayscale was a product we built, and it never come to a point whereby students started using it. Execal too, it got to a point whereby it almost people started using it, but it was not really, we couldn't provide enough, we couldn't provide the industry standard of what is expected of. So that was one of the reasons that we shut that down. And along the journey, I'll also be walking us through this project too. So one thing I want us to learn from this part is most ideas, regarding any ideas you have, you don't need to just keep it within yourself. You can go online, go on LinkedIn, go everywhere. People are not really looking at the idea. What they want is execution. They want something. So most ideas don't arrive fully formed, but they evolve through conversation and action. So take note of that. So then as the journey begins, now let me quickly give us an experience of what happened when we built Execat on campus. So now, this was a project we built without AI. Now look at it. I remember now during that time, I had to get on LinkedIn, I had to get a UI UX design team, a front-end developers, back-end engineer. This back-end engineer, I was one that seated on top of it. And we have saves and supporting. But that time we've not started selling. We just wanted people that would do evangelism, talk about the product and just be aware of it. by the time we started distributing. So now look at the reality. Months of coordination. I know Emmanuel could testify today. We have a lot of like meetings over meetings in one of the classroom in OU. Then we have several team members from I would not like to mention their name because they're much. So, but the reality is that even after the month of coordination, AV overhead, and complex management, the result is still that we fail to ship to the industry standard. Now, conclusion on that: high effort doesn't guarantee execution if the team lacks the necessary scale or skill. So take for it, regardless of whatsoever idea you have within you, if your team, including you, if you don't have the necessary skill that it needs to bring it to to the reality, to what people needs to use, it might not come to life. So yeah, so high effort doesn't guarantee execution, because we have this team. I remember this UI UX, I got the lady from LinkedIn, because we want something designed, we want something that will be professional. So I brought a lady from LinkedIn. I brought some of it was 2 UI UX design we have there. I have one of my friend and a lady from LinkedIn. The front-end developers too. I also have one of my friend and also someone that I've also worked with before. And I myself was sitting on the engineering. So we did this month, and I'm just trying to tell us what building was even without AI. Now, does that really mean we don't know what we are doing? I would say no, but it's just that the way it was structured, so we were not able to come up with something that was industry standard. So take note of that too. Now the shift now. AI transforms execution. Now let me now go back to when GEM AI started. So when GEM AI started, I remember the reason why I was able to bring out something prototype within that few days was because AI was there. So AI transformed the execution. So I no longer need a UI UX design team again, a back-end or front-end engineering team again. What I just need is, from months, it took days. And from large team required, I could only do by solo or small team capable. In fact, I was the only one that did this part. And from high friction to test to rapid proof of concept. Think about it. Imagine. So having an idea and just come to AI, and AI just bringing something for you that looks like it. And I was so amazed. Oh, this is what I really wanted. And days of putting in effort and building something, I was able to come up with something called GEM AI. So now AI doesn't replace the need for skills. It removes the friction of testing and building new ideas. So now let me quickly give us a little context on this again. Listen, so I didn't say that I didn't leave my skills, because right now I think as we continue, I also share the fact of where I've worked before. Now it doesn't leave me. It doesn't leave my skills away, because building with AI even requires you to be skillful. Yeah, many of you have generated prototype with AI. Some of you have generated you've generated portfolio, you've generated just a landing page, you've generated a lot of things, but is even hard for you to continue into to take a more step ahead to become a production ready product. The reason is because the problem there is because many of you just generated, and I'm talking based on experience of what I've also passed through before. You generated, but you didn't know what was working behind the scene. What is actually happening? How is this thing going on? How is the maintenance going to continue? So many I'm talking about context of people that just rely only on generating with AI without not having the core concept of what is behind the scene. And that's one of the reasons why, if you look at this cohort, we are not just starting from any place or just trying to bring AI from any place. We are starting from the CS, from the course that you guys are taking, because it trains you to think, and it trains you to see how programming is actually done, not just jumping into AI. Because if you jump into AI, you might build something but it might not come to a point of production ready. And this is one of the things that I want you guys to hold on. So the skills there is actually the use of the AI, not really just knowing that AI exists, because it is only when you can use this AI that's why you are able to transform your idea into something that people can use. I made a post a few I think the beginning of this year, and the post was like, AI is people generating product with AI now are now going into depth technically. And I didn't know. It's just a random post I posted. And before I woke up the next day, I saw over like 200 likes, and people were communicating over it that yes, that this is actually the problem. This is actually what is happening. This is actually what is going on. So what does that mean? So deeper than just AI generating, there are still more things behind the scene. That is why these skills, AI, not just knowing that AI existed, because that was what transformed the building, not really the AI itself. It was because based with my experience was applied into the using of AI. I was able to, that's what we call the architectural level of monitoring AI, the security level of monitoring AI, not just generating. You know what is happening behind the scene, you know every tools you are using. And and that's one of the reasons why we are coming through this CS course that you guys are taking. So that's that. Then another thing again is then we begin to, when GEM AI started, I built it and it was just AI generated professional headshot. If you look at the banner, I don't know, the banner that they use for this cohort, my session, if you look at the image that is there, that image was actually generated with Gen AI. That image, in fact, the one that you are seeing on the screen now as my placeholder, as my Gmail, is actually generated with Gen AI. So that was when we were test running and we're trying to do something. So we began to think about it. What can Gen AI become? What can it happen? So the last slide, I used that to explain to you how it is possible for me to be able to build Gen AI even with AI, not really blindly just generating something, but even applying my technical expertise in it. Imagine somebody that does not know anything in AI at all. And I think I shared something with us yesterday about a woman, a lady that reached out to me from South Africa, and she told me to test this platform. And going to the platform, I could not even do anything. I went back to her, I said, I can't use this platform. She was like, what happened? I said, number one, it does not even show that it is secure. This one is not, I'm scared of my data. And she was like, what? I think then I now mentioned to the fact that the person that generated this AI thing does not have any expertise, like even front end and so on. And that was what she was like, wow, that it is true that I engineer something like that. So that was what bettered that conversation on that. So what I'm mentioning this is people are actually using AI, but if you don't know the skills, now the skills does not necessarily mean you have to take all the years or the months to learn them. At least you still have to get to know some things, especially the architecture you are using. Very, very important. So as we're building, so that was when Gen AI was built within days. But the focus was AI generated professional headshots, and it was driven by my own personal interest and technical curiosity. I told you, and about what people were asking me while I was on Facebook. Now, we now pivoted to what is called AI today. Now, how do we do that? What was the journey behind between Gen AI to KratorAI? So when we did that, we started looking into it, that what can this become? So we started looking into pictures generating. They will realize something that is so important. What is that thing? AI is already bringing fear to everybody, including businesses, including even people that are professionals too. And I mentioned that yesterday. For those of us that are on the call, I'm mentioning it again, not to assume that we know it. So I mentioned the fact that businesses in Africa want to adopt AI, but they don't know the approach to adopt it. Yes. So now in this case, we began to look into that. What can we do? They begin to look into business for liars. At that time when KratorAI was coming up, like when KratorAI was being built, at that time, people were generating flyers with AI, but those flyers, you can easily state that this one is generated by AI because of a lot of bulk of details, irregular font, things like that, color combination. So people could easily see, but people are still using it. And I'll tell you why. Because number one, to generate for you to get a flyer as a business owner, is that you go and employ a graphic designer. And I think the minimum at that time was like about 30,000 naira per month to get a graphic designer. In the scale of abroad, people were like from the range of $50 to $600 above. So business, especially SME, small businesses, they can't afford this yet, but they are just looking for a way around it, just to generate something with AI. But even though that thing is not giving them what they want, but at least it's still making them to bypass the fee that they have to make. So that was we discovered that, and we decided to solve this problem with KratorAI. So that was how we pivoted from just generating headshots into what we call business flyers and marketing assets. So that was that. So now then that was we look at the issue and we realized that this is a problem that people want. So takeaway on this part is successful, sorry for that, is a successful product are shaped by market evidence, not founder preference. Please take note of that. This one is very, very important. Any products you are building, any ideas you have, ensure that you look into the market and see how it is needed in the market. Very, very important. So I think that was how GenAI changed to KratorAI. Now, so the next thing is the human factor of it, the designer. So now something that after when we recognize the business part of it, then we decided to also confirm the designers part of it. I know some of you might be a designers here, and I would like you guys to try to this. So we decided to make a survey, and in that survey we had over 300 designers on that survey, on that group. And what was the question? The question is how are they seeing AI in their work? What is happening? How are they, what is their concern about AI as a designer? And all of them were speaking out of sincerity. So there was a fear that AI is taking over traditional design work. Yes. Number two is companies are training AI on designers' own work to cut them out. So we have companies, a lot of companies, I will not mention them, but just go out there, including the one you are using to generate images. Behind the scene, they are actually training the AI with designers' work, but they are now cutting them out of it. So now the insight now, so KratorAI's mission was now that, okay, we will not replace them, but we will align them with it. For example, at that time, the AI could not generate. In fact, the best model of AI then was Gemini at that time. But the only way AI could generate what you want, the design you want, is when you reference a template. If you don't have a template, AI will generate something generic that in fact, I did that a lot of times when I was trying to, put out content regarding grid scale when I was building grid scale then. So it was AI I was using to generate the design. So it was that time I was recognized that, oh, this AI could not generate things except it sees, it reference a template. So we decided to, okay, this designer decided to bring their designs, and we'll call them what? Template, a reference to what our AI is generating. So not just generating something out of context. So if you go to KratorAI today, you will see that we are focused on the fact that this is a template-based project. So when you come there, you are expected to select a template from a designs to generate. Now, so how do we now solve the fear of the designers? Now, the designers now, what we do is that any template anybody use within the platform, there is a percentage of profit that goes for the designers. So is how many times, depending on how many times the designs are used, so they will make the money. It's just like making money even while they are sleeping. So there's not this kind of fear of AI is taking away their job or something like that. All they just need to do is create a professional flyer, put it on KratorAI. Anybody that wants to generate flyer can reference the template, generate a version for their own company, and while that template is still there. So every template you see on our platform is uploaded by the designers. Every template you see. I think there was a time we were looking into that and we realized that some people were actually, they were just trying to scrape from some guys, and we know that is actually very dangerous, especially to the platform. So why am I sharing this? Is I'm beginning to share the human factor behind KratorAI. How does it come on? So it was actually a problem for even the designers. They are scared of AI taking away their design work. So during that time, it was now hard for just a normal designer to get a work, to get a design gig. It's very hard because they are designing, they are building, they're trying to design something, but nobody is giving them work. So that's where KratorAI, and these are the market research we made together. we had a lot of them, over 300 of them, discuss their concerns with us, and we're able to come up with solving this problem. So now, then we solve this problem now requires aligning AI capabilities with human creativity. And I know some of you might have learned this, even though even though it is not softly, but even hardly, some of your content on your on your social medias, you can easily see that some of them are AI generated and something like that. So there is a need. Okay, Mine wants to say something, right? Or can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can
we
actually
can actually
hear you,
hear you,
but we
but
wanted
we
you to
want.
just pause a bit to just get everybody's perspective to be sure that we are all maybe ask a couple of questions or ask for feedback or something, just
All
to be
right.
sure that people have not drifted.
All right. So guys, are you still here with me? Is there anyone that can just tell me something that you've learned in this journey? What is one thing that resonated with you? Anybody? Anyone?
Okay, so what for me?
Yeah.
All right, this
Thank you,
is
Martin.
Oluwabayomi. I said so for me, Sha, one of the things that I actually see that you guys were trying to do when you were like trying to come up with ideas, and it's not just to, it's, how would I put it, to help every other person, retain their job, even despite the fact that you want AI to still be in existence, right? So you don't want it to be like, I like the fact that it is not, we are not aiming hard trying to, use AI to take away people's job, but look for a way that we can both assist people and making those both human jobs and the AI together to coexist. That's it for me.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that you got that point. Is there any other person? I think I need two more people to share the idea. Okay. I think Favor, right? Favor, you can go ahead.
Okay, sir. So mine is actually a question. While you were
Oh,
developing KratorAI, did you like for designers to be able to upload their work on KratorAI? Is there a fee they had to pay so you could still make money from the designers and also companies that will be using their designs?
all right. So I think okay, let me quickly answer that before the next person, because there's still one more person. So regarding that, actually we first open it up for free for people, but we began to see some designs that they're not even looking like it at all. Like some designs that are not professional. We opened it for free at first. So it was not, those designs were not actually good. So we decided to take it to a level whereby we want only professionals. So in that case, there's a fee you'll be committed to pay, and then you now upload. So we now believe that for you, okay, man, I want to say something. You can go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to just chip in that actually it wasn't like it was free from the start. You remember that when we got the idea and we wanted to start, we had to at the same time start selling and seeing who will pay for it. I remember we even got a couple of paying designers that wanted to pay for it because if you remember well I was telling from from that time that we're not going to do this except people are ready to pay, if you remember well. So and then
Yeah,
we got people
yeah,
to pay even before the product was ready to validate that there
exactly.
was a real concern.
Yeah, so yeah, thank you very much for that. So we had two people that actually paid for it, because we were actually asking ourselves that is this what people want to pay for? And that even at that point, it is still Jamie I. We've not even turned to KratorAI at all. Like we've not even started building. So we decided to go into the market and begin to see. And we saw two people that was committed to a particular payment. But later on, we now decided to open it up for people to, because it was now about looking like it's difficult for us to get more designers. So we opened it up, but we began to see some designs that were not actually what we want at all. So we now decided to now make it a fee. This one now, so any designer that is coming on KratorAI now will have to, is it not, there are two ways. The first, you can sign up for free and upload your works, but you already agree that when you start making money, you will pay back the money. Yes, or better still, you can pay your money back, and there's not like your money is being reducted as your flyers is being used. I hope that is clear, Favor. All right, so that's now the approach we have now is that You can come in, anybody can come in from anywhere. What we just need from you is a professional design. So you can decide to pay. If you have the money, you can pay, and if you don't have the money, it's fine. You can pay it when you start making your money within the platform. But for those that actually have the money, they paid. And in fact, we have a lot of them that paid self. Yeah. So I think that's that. Thank you. That's that for favor. So one more person, any other person that will go. Questions, or there's something just what resonated with you so far? Any other person? All right. I think it's Abdulazim. You can go ahead.
Yeah. What I actually noted from this little discussion that we had so far is that you are just trying to make AI be a link between the consumers and the producers. I mean the designers, the one that designs the product and all. You are just trying to be the link between the consumers and the producers to make better yeah to make more quality or something like that, to make a better quality and better connection
All right.
between both parties.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, that's actually right. So okay, let me quickly put this, let me reshape this in. So this approach actually put on a better side of it in such a way that anybody generating design from KratorAI are getting professional designs, not really generic or something out of context. So that's, in fact, we got to a point whereby you can even edit the content, the copy of what we show in the flyer. You can even upload your image and something like that. I think I will still show us one or two pictures so that you will see something that KratorAI generated. So and so on like that. So that was how it happened. So the fact that we're not just putting designers out of it is actually one of the things that give us edge in this journey, and that's what make everybody to buy into, not everybody yet, but people that will be confronted, made them to buy into what we are building. So that's that. All right. So okay, let me go to the next one now. Now the solution. So now this is how I've already discussed about this, but this is how it is. So we partnership with the designers now. So our goal is to provide professional, human quality flyers grounded in real design templates and not blank prompts. Now, how do we do the model? We license designer templates and pay them every time their work is used by AI. Now, the vision now, the long term is what is shared profit ownership for all creators contributing to the platform. In fact, this goes even more than the designers, so including every team members, everybody working in together with AI, because that's one of the core vision. That's one of the core long-term vision of GIOGUIDE generally. Ownership. So everybody that built have ownership of what they are building. So now AI performs best when it empowers creators rather than competing with them. This was their fear before, until when we now started to do that. And actually, we looked into the market and we actually saw that nobody cares. Nobody cares for these people. Nobody cares. In fact, look at Canva. Canva now has AI that will generate flyers with you. You don't need to you don't need to use anybody template again. Look at and I remember there was a time we met with a guy and I was trying, the guy told us that Canva is running a campaign at that time to bring in professional designers, pay them for that period of time to bring crazy designs so that they can use it to train their own AI at that time. So we also learned about other things. I told about a platform that went to scrape people's design from Pinterest, from across platforms, and they put it on the platform and they started using it to generate design, things like that. So but our own vision was we our own was different. So it is more of shared profit ownership for all creators contributed to the platform. And I said earlier that any designs you see on KratorAI today is actually uploaded by the designer. All right. So the next thing is, now let's look at the demo versus the product. So the architecture, connecting templates, AI generation, and user requests into a seamless flow. There is a security part too. and the IP, protecting designer intellectual property and controlling access levels. Yeah. So there's the payment logic, the complex system to ensure designer gets paid for every template usage. Reliability, ensuring the system holds up under reward user traffic and edge cases. Now, let me quickly share something behind the scene of all these things. For the designers now, right now, designers can see that their templates are being used, their works are being used. But right now, we've not actually started distributing income to them. Yeah, because of we are still on the point of scaling and also servicing the businesses, because it's only when the businesses now start using this product that is when there is a shared commission with the other guys, with the designers. I mean, so we have the architecture too, connecting templates, AI generation. I think I will leave this side to you guys to think about the question to bring out from this part, because the demo part of it was just to show what is possible. But when it starts becoming a product, then we begin to handle complex reality and security. Yeah, I remember there was a time the first copy the templates and go and use it any place, but the second version is now more on security and more of architecture, not just vibe coding something, engineering. So there is the part of the payment logic to into it, and also the reliability. These things, we actually have challenges on all these things, but testing, running, testing over and over again, iterating, and having people to test with us actually helped us to come up with something that the market can start using, everyone, businesses can start using. All right, so that's that for that. So down, I'll also be giving a little context on the vibe coding versus production ready, because one of my key points this evening is that I want you guys to know what is the difference between the vibe coding part and the production ready part. This is one of the things I speak mostly on LinkedIn about, not just vibe coding. A lot of vibe coding things, but they are not getting to a point whereby it is being used. So let's look at the vibe coding. There is the high speed, yes, low barrier to entry. There is the focus on magic demos. Then it often lacks depth and resilience, accessible to everyone right now. But the production building now, number one, there is the architecture, security, and skill. Now, what does this architecture mean? If you miss this architecture thing of your building, you might not get every other thing right. Yes, because architecture is when you sat down, you want to let me give you for example, you want to build a Jumia like product, right? Sitting down, you shouldn't just come and just use AI to generate something. Number one is, how does Jumia operate? How does it operate behind the hood? What are the things that comes in place? All this kind of things. Then you begin to look into what are the technical tools that powers every of these features. Now, when you put these things, I'm talking about architecture now, because if you don't, if you fly or if you skip this part, you might not be able to get to the system that is really sellable. Just like the one I told you that reached out to me on LinkedIn. So the next thing is you begin to look into the architecture, what it takes to build this, how do you build this, and I do tell people that even if it requires learning, ensure you learn them. It's better you learn them to build what you want to build. So we have the security and the skill. You have to look into this thing before building at all. What does the security looks like? What are the things needed? KratorAI, even right before, after the second version, we have the first version that it was not really looking like what we want then. Though it was showcasing what we wanted to build. But by the time we started reaching to customers, to people, some of them buy into it, while some of them were giving us idea to improve. Yeah, I think that was what now gave birth, now bettered our what we call MVP now. So people started saying, no, this one is not the version. You need to improve. Add this one, add this one. It now became MVP version. So that was getting ideas and getting feedback from people. That was how we continue to build. Now, then system that hold under real users. There's one thing about system that hold under real users. Your anything you can be building, there is different. It's entirely different when people start using it. When people start using your product, is entirely different from when it is still on demo environment. I remember there was a lot of things we faced that require us to bring it down, go back again, and quickly fix something before we now bring it out again. In fact, there were people that were like, "Oh, this thing is good," but when they jump into it, they realize one or two things are still happening. So you have to bring this back. I'm just trying to give us a clear gap between a verb coded stuff and a production ready platform. All right, so that is that. Then the core message at this part is that a working demo and a sellable product are fundamentally different things. They are fundamentally different, and because a production project requires architecture, security, and it must be scalability. How many people can use the platform at the same time? How many people can be on it at the same time? What is the speed? And in fact, that's one of the things we are still improving on KratorAI, the speed level and also more on it. So that's that. So the next thing I have here is the execution over secrecy, bringing ideas into life. Now, you protect the idea at all costs, right? Keep it secret to avoid competition. Wait for perfect moment to launch. Now, the reality is ideas alone. I think I've shared this before. This was actually one of the things that I learned when we were building KratorAI. Ideas alone are worth very little. Execution is the only real differentiator. Build to MVP first, then show it to real people. Build to MVP first, then show it to real people. Now, any feedback and advice would shape the product into its current successful form. Now, let me quickly give a little context into that too. So it was during the time whereby we started showing this product to people. That was when we started getting people that we call advisors on GIOGUIDE team. So we have advisors, several of them. We have the cybersecurity advisors. We have the business people that are in the business, the business scope already, and they are our advisors. We have great technical people, experts in building AI products, our advisors. So when we were building this, we're not just leaving it to what we know alone. We open it up to our advisors to tell us ideas, and this was what shaped the product into what it is right now. So then we have the resilience too. Now we have competitors. They are actually in fact, it was during the part whereby when we released KratorAI, we now realized that there are a lot of competitors out there, but many of them are focusing on high-paying businesses. They are not really focusing on small businesses that are coming up. We have them a lot. There are competitors, and I think this is one of the issues. This is one of the problem of many builders. When they come to a level whereby they started seeing their competitors, the morale started dying, the motivation started leaving. So this was one of the things that God helped us to sustain through. In fact, we got a lot of competitors on this journey, but yet we kept building, kept refining, kept growing, and we focused on our unique value and our designer partnership. That was what made us different from every other people. Yeah. So we have competitors from this Nigeria and even abroad too. All right. So we have competition is a sign that the problem is real, not a reason to quit. This was one thing Emmanuel will always continue to state, that these people are a sign that this our product is real. This problem is real. This is what people want, right? So competitors in that industry is telling us that we're actually on the right path. So I think this is what's sitting down to learn to for everyone that wants to build a product. You can actually look into your competitors. Your competitor does not necessarily mean that he cannot build a product. It's just a sign, a signal that this problem is real and people are solving it already. All right, so that's that. Now the future now. So all right, I think before I continue, I would like to when I'm done with this slide now, I'd like to also take question now. The future, turning learning into action. Now I gave us a difference between vibe coding and a production ready platform, and I gave us a little context what is behind the scene within it. So one of the things that is very, very important is you need to master the fundamentals. Don't joke with this phase of your learning at this point. Very, 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 very important. If you miss it now, you might not know how programming. In fact, some of you have not really have a deep course like that before. So I would like you guys to please take your time to ensure that you go through these courses. So master the fundamentals, the logic, architecture, and systems thinking are what make AI useful. AI is only as powerful as the engineer using it, and that's one of the reasons why that's one of the core reason why we actually want you guys to come through the route of learning the fundamentals, then into coming into the building and even into building a product for people with the use of AI. But AI is as strong as you are. Somebody can come to AI and build the next unicorn product, and the same person, another person can come and build another product again that will not even leave the dev environment. The difference is the people that build it, engineer. So it's the engineering, it's not the AI. There are a lot of AI out there now. In fact, I use Gemini, I use Claude, I use Codex, I've tried Kimi too. A lot of powerful models out there, but I could see that these models are powerful truly, but the product I built is the reflection of me that actually built with them, not really the powerful or how powerful the product is. So can you still hear me? Are you guys, can you still hear me? Let me confirm that. Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
All right.
We can hear you.
All right. All right. I hope there's no noise. Is there noise? Yeah. Can you hear any noise?
It's perfect.
All right. Joel want to say something, right? Joel.
It's my network. Sorry.
So then now what closes the gap now is the gap isn't access to AI. Everyone has that. Everybody has ChatGPT, you have Claude, but the gap is who can turn it into something real and sellable. That is it. That is the most important thing at this point now. Is who can turn the AI into what? Into things that are real and sellable. So your idea means nothing until it comes to life. This is one of the lessons that I learned so hard. Like I don't have choice. Your idea means nothing until it comes to life. KratorAI is life. So the question to you is now, what will you start building? Think about it. You are in the journey of learning right now. From this point, you should start thinking about your idea, even as you are learning all this your CS courses and so on, because it will actually help you. This what you are learning is what you come back to input into your idea, not focus, not necessarily on your own idea at this point now, but even into solving the problems of businesses. I gave you a context of how we are solving problem. So right now, anybody on this call now, you should know how we are solving business problem, and not just solving business problem, and even how we are now trying to partner with designers to not let them to to be cut out of the race, to be cut out or just feel somehow like they are not part of it. Think about it. So this is one of the things I want you guys to learn so much. And also the another lesson also is about the building part of it, not just AI. Is about the engineering bit behind AI. So I think this is where I will stop for now before I now go into presenting what KratorAI looks like. Any question or anybody want to share something? What is the thing that has resonated with you all? What is the thing I've really learned so far on this journey? 3 people have already talked before, but I would like other people to also say something now. Any other person? Can you just hello? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please. Is there anything you want to share, or how has this thing resonated with you? Any question? All right, I see somebody raising up, and you can go ahead.
Okay, what has
Oh, I think Shalom.
yes, sir. Okay, good afternoon, sir. My name is Akoni Shalom. Okay, so what has resonated with me, because me too have been using AI for some things like that when it comes to coding, is when you talked about security, then also having knowledge about what you are coding, what is happening at the back. Because I noticed that most of the things I've just been doing is I've just been feeding AI, but I've not been feeding myself with experiences on how it works actually.
Exactly. Actually, that's one of the I was learning about AI yesterday. It's still yesterday. I'm still coming on Olalowo and Christopher. Yeah, I'm still coming to you guys. So Shalom, I was learning something about AI yesterday again, and it was telling me the fact that, in fact, I did it as a post on LinkedIn, that what AI does is it does something for you. Like all you just need to do is give it a prompt, and it makes you look like see if you are skillful. It makes you look like see if you know what you are doing, something like that. And if you write on this thing too much, you'll fool yourself, not fool other people, because you actually don't know what is happening behind the scene. And thank you for mentioning the fact of the security. So what I would tell you is that AI is good, but anything you want to build with I know is actually an idea you have, but can you just sit down, make proper research in that idea? Let me give you, for example, even after KratorAI, I've had several ideas too, like integrating AI into workflows in some other in one place I work to. So the first thing I did was I didn't just jump. In fact, they were thinking that it's something I would just come the next day and give them results. They were so this next day I told them I've not even started programming. I've not even started using AI at all. I'm still doing the fundamental research, which is very, very important. Look at the architecture that is possible to build. And don't worry, these things are not they are not far away, they are not far from you again. It's actually in that course that you are learning. That's course CS, that course that you guys are taking is actually, they will look at it. There's one thing that they will teach you there: the architecture, the approach, and even the idea behind programming. What helped me was because I already have this experience, and that was I have about over 6 years experience. Even building, I have over 5 years building without the use of AI before I start using AI. So automatically there are some things I already understood about security. One of the reasons why we closed down Execat was because of security issue, and that was one thing I coded with my hand. So imagine the experience from that part, and others too like that. So now that you don't have the experience, take your time to learn what it is. Don't just jump into building, because you will end up building something that even you will not really know anything about it. You just be like, I built something and this is what I built. You can only say this is what you built, but the maintenance and every other thing and anything you build, if you are not able to maintain it, I don't think that one is not yet your, or you are not able to oversee the maintenance. So we have to get to a point whereby we are able to maintain it and know what is happening behind this. For example, you wake me in 12 midnight, like wake me at any time and tell me, KratorAI, something is happening to it. Don't worry, you don't need to talk too much. I know where it is. I know where the error is coming from, and I know where to go and check immediately. Exactly. Regardless if my AI tokens has finished. Some of you build with AI, but when the AI token is finished, that is the end for that day. This is until when it renew again. That's where you continue. I know. So regardless of what happened, I wake up back, carry my laptop, because I know that this is actually the experience. So I go deep. So this thing is only possible because I understood the architecture behind it. So my advice to you is that make sure you spend time to understand this your course that you guys are going through. Don't joke with it. Make sure you spend time to understand the architecture, because these people are actually standard people that are teaching you programming. So it's not like somebody that will just come from any place, come and teach you one programming that you'll be asking, how does this one happen? No, they're actually breaking it down for yourself. And those are where the courses that help me. Let me quickly shape this in. When I started learning, I learned from Meta. I don't even know Meta. Meta are the people that built Facebook, WhatsApp, all these platform. I learned directly from them. My Python course was from Google directly. It was from Google. I learned from Google expertise. So that's one of the reasons. So I know what this means for you to learn from industry standard directly. So please take your time, understand these things, and ensure you are able to maximize everything that you use. And make sure you take note. Don't just skip the videos. Make sure you learn very well. You're able to capture things that you need. As you begin to go through, you begin to shake it. You'll be like, this is the answer to the question I've been asking within yourself. So that's that, Shalom. So from now henceforth, don't just build anything blindly. In fact, you're already on the road, on the journey to building something, not just vibe coding, but engineering. All right. So Christopher, I think Christopher is the number 2 person, if I'm right. Christopher, you can go ahead. Oh, sorry, I think it's Olalowo. Olalowo, you can go ahead. Olalowo.
All right,
Living
so
world.
thank you for
Living world.
yeah.
So sorry, so sorry.
Yes, yes,
If you can hear me, please.
so sir,
After Olalowo, I think that that last question will take for now because our time is fast spent. So I can just round up.
Yeah, I'm actually done on my end.
I don't know if you got that. Sorry, sorry.
I'm actually done on my end.
Okay.
all right.
You can go ahead.
Thank you for all right. Thank you for the training, sir. So my 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 own point also is it says that AI does not tend to replace human but assist human in the sense that it does not tend to replace your skill but in order to help you. But we human have turned into the sense that um we let AI to replace us, and that will not be so because of what AI is created to help us. Like just look at in the sense of people vibe coding. I know that vibe coding is kind of good and stuff like that, but there are some basic parts in which you should really know about coding before you go into vibe coding. So that that is also one major part, and also likewise the best best example is also the graphic design as you said. So the graphic design in the sense that AI creates most generic stuff and stuff like that. It created they mostly deal with generic stuff because of what the tokens they receive from each and every one of us, and by that compile everything together just forms one. So in my own sense, AI is just like an helper, not a replacer. So we um either be it a tech guy or business owner or big business owner and so on like that. That's just my say to that.
Thank you for that. I think Israel, you can continue.
Okay, I think one other person had something to say.
Yeah, I was the one. Good,
Okay.
after, good afternoon. What I always want to say is they've all said a lot here. They've all contributed a lot. But somebody mentioned something that we have been feeding AI, but AI have not been, we're not learning from AI. That's where one part I want to hold on to. Yeah, because most of us we just give our problems to AI and they give us the results we want, and that's all. Most times people come to me, please, do you know this? And I will give them the solution. They'll be like, Omo, you sabi you. It's not really that I sabi you, but when I give a problem to AI or to Gemini, I use Gemini very well. Once I give a problem to Gemini, I would want to know the basics and everything of it. That's it. And I've always said I'll not do anything coding. Is stressful. Is this, is that. When I understood the importance of it, I really wanted to. And with this opportunity, I'll be very grateful if all of us can pick from it. And during the course of all this, I've learned that you guys wanted to use your products to make sure we use AI and human effort, not just crapping out human effort. I asked a question, if you could remember back last week or so, that can we ever regret having AI, or can AI do us more harm than good? And that is where this comes in. Because if we decide to rely fully on AI without human reasoning, it will do us more harm than good if everybody agrees to it. But now implementing, because now those people, those graphic designers were complaining that nobody wants to give them, not want to reach out to them to work for them and the rest, and scrapping out their own work, relying on AI. Now, you guys product already have helped to breach that point or that problem where people don't rely on graphic designer and they are really feeling bitter about it. And that's a very good approach to AI. So my own take on this is how we use AI to solve problems, both engineering in the physical world and everything at large. And that's what I have to say.
All right. So you can see my screen. This is how KratorAI looks like.
A
So it
design.
generates a
This is
design.
like
This is
it
like
generates
it generates campus. So is like a business on KratorAI, and these are the examples of the designs that KratorAI generates. So that's it. So you can continue, Israel.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thank you so much. That I believe we have all learned a lot from this section. I believe everyone can hear me. I believe everyone can hear me. Thank you so much. We have all learned a lot. And there's one thing there was one key sentence that they actually said when we spoke about we have the graphic designers are not neglected. Instead, they're just enhancing their work because CratorAI was one product that did not neglect graphic designers. It still brought them together and still use AI together. So there's something like it's replacing our work, actually aiding our work. That was like the highlight of work I could actually get. So we want to thank you for that. Thank you so much. So yeah, over to us. Is there any other question I want to ask him before we call it a day? We are leaving here by 6. So is there any other, maybe there's one or two things that we did not get? I wasn't clear again. Or you want to ask the build by KratorAI? Because I'm expecting someone to ask which language do you use, sir? Or which do you use? But now no one has really spoken about.
Okay, I can see a hand raised. Okay, I see a couple of hand raised now. Okay.
Okay, Abdulazim, can go ahead, please. Then after that, is it living
Yeah.
seed? Can go ahead. Then
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Saz. I mean, this is a very wonderful program so far, and I just want to ask about the course that we'll be taking, like the Harvard Harvard C50 or so, CS50. I'm just asking, when are we to start? Like, when are we to start, or which time? Like,
okay,
personally, when should we
I'll be
which time should we, like, personally?
okay. Okay, depending on your schedule, though, but normally we are starting tomorrow officially. But you can still start it because I'm here to drop either the link or the screenshot of the processes. But I will drop that this night, immediately after this call or so. So we are starting it tomorrow. So then our next office meeting, we'll review it. So tomorrow we are covering Scratch and C, if it's possible for us. Depending on it, but our next office meeting is on Friday. They will now review what we actually learned. That's the idea behind it. Okay, then
Okay, all right. I don't know if you can hear me because of service and stuff like that. But the question I want to ask is that for the premium of your website of your platform, is it that if you want to generate something on your platform, is it that they deduct based based on credits or can you explain that part? If you get if you pay for the premium of your website, is it that they deduct based on credits?
All right. So I think
Sorry.
that no, we don't work with credit. So actually is like for now, if you are on the pro subscription, you have access to use everything within the platform. There are three plans. Number one is the free trial plans, there is the pro plan, and there is the autopilot plan. So right now, if you have the pro plan, you'll be able to create as much as content you want to create, as much as flyers. I think it's limited to around 50 in a month, as much as content, because it's not only flyers, it's actually on like content for LinkedIn. Let me give for example. Let me show you a quick example what I'm talking about. So for this okay, let me use this media. Okay, so coming. Okay, that's very fast. Content. Yeah. So for something like this now, this is actually a business. And so look at, so this is just a content for July 14, and it has the carousel for the Instagram. It has the design for the LinkedIn and so on, and also their caption that you can post along with it. So this is it here. So it has everything. So they can share it from here. So they share it from here. So this is what they can copy it and download the flyer and go and post it on LinkedIn. So you can do as much as this with your on pro. So there's no limit to exactly what you can do, except from the flyer. The flyer is about 50. And if you're on free trial, the flyer is just 5. So we are not working with tokens. What we are working is the number. So you know what you are expecting, not really not by tokens. I think I'm coming. Let me show you the pricing. Let's go to the pricing plan. Okay, so we have the prime. Okay, this is it. So we have the creator. So strictly to 2 brands or limited flyer generation. The video, we also have video models too, but we are still working on that. So we have the 4K image output and priority background rendering. So we have the scale agency too here. So this one is still, we've not yet released this one. So what does the scale agency does? The scale agency is when you can do autopilot, whereby you'll be able to post to different platform autonomously by just clicking, instead of you to just copy one by one. All you just need to do is to share. I have an account that does that already, but that one is development account. So you can connect your account from this part, so and so on. So that's that. So I hope that explains what you're asking. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yes, sir. We all.
Yes, we can hear you, Manuel. Okay.
Thank you. You already.
So it's 6 p.m. already.
I was asking that nobody asked.
Yes, you want to say something? Just go ahead.
I was wondering why no one asked about the tech stack you used to build the product. If you can just like brief us on the languages you used.
You want to say something? Just go ahead. All right. So just before Israel goes ahead, excellent. Just confirm you got Israel's question. Great. So yeah, I'm also surprised that we've all been obsessed and drawn into KratorAI as a product.
Am I audible enough?
And I've sort of moved away from what the core of the conversation is, right? How going from zero to being built, and Excellent has done a great job of explaining all that you need to know, right? But just before we round off, I want to ground this in you guys, because if I would have loved for each and every one of you to take turns to really tell me and explain to me what you got from what Excellent has shared. But let me do a summary for you. Let me do a summary. So the majority of you guys, how many of you at least know one programming language? Let's take a poll. You know, raise a hand on this call or an emoji. One programming language. Okay. So I don't have anybody. Okay, I see one hand. I see one hand. So I really want to know where we are, guys, because like I told you guys, we are taking you from wherever you are to people who can build something, a product. And Krator is just one product. I can see another hand. I see Adoku. You know one programming language. I think Adoku raised his hand. Guys. So just two people in the room know a programming language. Okay, great. So now we have two people. You can drop your hands, please. You can lower your hands. So two people in the room at least know a programming language. I'm guessing 100%. I think I'm almost 100% certain that the language is Python, right? And that's fine. So how many of us are vibe coded? Let me see. I've vibe coded something with AI before. Like you've built maybe a landing page or something before with AI. Can you raise your hand? I see 2 hands, 3 hands. You vibe coded something with AI. I see 3 hands now. Just leave your hand raised so that I will know. I think somebody has lowered the hand. I see 3 people have vibe coded something. 4 people, 5 people, 6 people. Okay. For each of you 6 guys, can you tell us in the chat what platform you use to do that vibe coding? Let us know in the chat, please. So 6 people in the room have vibe coded something with AI. Fine. 2 people know at least a programming language. 6 people have vibe coded something. Great. How many of us know the programming language that we want to actually learn? There's at least one programming language that's I see replace in the chat. Okay, great. So the entire purpose of this conversation, I see base 44, I see Lovable. Great. Lovable. So most of you guys have used Lovable. Nice. So I really want to understand where we are at so that what Excellence is saying, you can see yourself in the picture of what Excellence is saying and see at what point will you get to where Excellence is at now? And at what point will you get to a forward deployed engineer? Right. So that we're not just talking about production environment. So I'm assuming that most of you here have heard production several times, but you don't know what production is. Okay, I see GitHub. Well, GitHub is not a maybe you're referring to Vercel or something. But anyways, so guys, with this context in mind, now the most of us actually that will be on this call will be people that have not used any language before. We've not programmed in any language. And if you are this person, please just raise a hand as well, or just give me an emoji so I know that okay, I'm actually speaking to the right people. You've not written any line of code before. How did 4 people instantly raise their hands? This is magic. 5, 6. Okay. So now please let me know so that we know how we are going to pick everybody from the starting point to where we really want you guys to get to. So I see 5 people have never actually written a code before. Great. 6 people. 7. Please let's make it. I want to have all the details. Every single one of you. We want to carry every one of you along. So please. Great. So we see now the majority of us. Now, for among those of us who are raising our hands, how many of us, if we have never vibe coded anything before, drop your hands. So let's see those who have never vibe coded and have never built anything before. Okay. So it means, guys, there is a lot of work to do. That's just the reality I'm confronting with today. You see what Emmanuel was talking about building a product? We've shown you what it is. Emmanuel did not start from zero in building a product. He mentioned it clearly. He started from, he has had like 5 years of experience building hand-on. So what we are trying to do with this program is to crunch several years of experience, teaching you only the things that matter so that you can also get to a point where you can build things within 3 months. The more reason do a wrap up of this conversation was because as at yesterday's call, the most many of us were seeing it with this program was, I just want to use it to solve my own problem. But if you listen through what Excellence shared today, he was not even talking about his own problem, right? He was talking about helping other people, talking about designers, talking about businesses and all of that. So there's a lot of shifts that needs to happen in your mind as you're going through this program. So please be ready for it. And for those of us who are yet to commence, now the question is, how do you get on? How do you move fast with us? If you've never coded before and if you've never vibe coded, you just know you're on the lowest ladder here. But we've created a path for you to catch up. So it just means you have to do harder work to catch up. If you've only vibe coded, to be honest, you're also just still starting out, because if you've never coded before, it's still a problem. But if at least you've had an introduction to a language before, maybe it will be easier for you. Let me just say you are the most advantaged on the program, right? And so what I would want for each and every one of you to do, and let me just also sound it here that we'll be dropping people consistently off the program. By the end of this week, we're going to review and see those who have really not been participating and then drop people off. And then we'll also see those who have participated and we'll also spotlight them. Right, so we're taking note of all of those things. Also, don't forget that by tomorrow, Wednesday's session let me just leave that information for tomorrow's office hour. Remember, tomorrow's office hour. So what am I expecting you guys to spend the bulk of this week doing? If you really want to cheat this program and you really want to grow very fast, if you can take that CS50 program at least 3 times over time, I can promise you that you would have done yourself a lot of good. You would have done yourself a lot of good. All right. Speaking to one of our mentors, that's Olamide Sholaja, the machine learning engineer, and he told me he has taken that program at least 3 times. Right. I was like, oh wow, interesting. Now, yesterday I was on a call with him again, and he was like, he's going to take this program as you guys are taking it, because he wants to take it again. So it's, if you can go through it over and over and over again, because I can promise you, if you go through it once, you would not have learned it. Right. So that said, I'm not going to drag this beyond this, but I just wanted to ensure that all of you know where you fall in, so that as Emmanuel is speaking about production and all of that, don't be tempted to be deceived that okay, we are at the same level or something. There's a lot of learning gap you have to cover, but that's why we are here for you guys. All right. I can still see a couple of hands. If those are not questions, you can lower your hands, because I think we're good for today. Okay, a new hand got raised. If you have a question, just unmute. Now I don't know if Catalan is raising his hand or Favor is raising his hand. So just go ahead. Okay. Yeah, Favor.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
So my question is not actually really related, but I just wanted to ask if there was a roadmap you can share with us on how you created KratorAI. Probably from knowing the problems you went on to finding what you want to include in your AI and knowing things you want to tackle and knowing either the architecture first or those kind of steps that you use. If you could just tell us like things on them, sir.
Okay, great. So we have that. I think Emmanuel is going to be much more constant on these sessions. We might have more than one of his mentorship sessions, right? So for the roadmap, that's we have designed that's supposed to come up at the end of phase 1. Going to be giving you guys. So like we told you, the course is what you are taking for phase 1. By phase 2, you are getting into more depth. We are giving you problems to tackle and to solve. And we are dissecting, like we are getting on course and you are doing demos of what you've built. That's where we want to get to by August 17th. And you also remember that we said that there is a project. I think that by tomorrow we'll have more clarity on the project we are going to be getting and presenting by the end of this phase 1, which is the mini Jumia. Right? So that what the approach is going to look like, every single thing, roadmap, Israel is going to be leading you through that. right? So Israel is going to be leading you guys through that. So, but I just want to let you know that the foundational knowledge of course, please just, if you can take the course and finish it up and finish it and finish it again, because the real thing is what you're going to really learn, how you're going to really learn is from building, right? Okay. I can see another hand is raised. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so my question is, when we were asking that which of us has like programming language and all, I think some of us actually has a actually has HTML, because you once said HTML is not a programming language, something like
Okay,
that. So most
let
of
me
us, what we have is HTML
let
and
me attend
CSS.
to that problem once and for
So
all.
like,
Let me attend to it once and for all. Okay. So guys, is HTML a programming language? No, it's a markup language. And so really, well, I would just say that if somebody who has a language like maybe Python or even JavaScript, but JavaScript is also limited, right? If you have Python, C, C++, several other languages, I'll like your preparation for this program. But if you have HTML, I don't even know what I will give you. Maybe I'll give you a 4, right? You're not like those who just vibe code and those who have not had experience of code, but you also don't have a language, because it's actually not a language for programming. Do you understand? So it's usually the place people are advised to start up, and it's usually for web development. Actually, that's for web development. But we're talking about people who can solve problems creatively, right? To solve problems creatively. So, and some of the things you're going to be building are not even necessarily going to be built with HTML, CSS, right? So, and if you look at the program that you're going through, the course, I want to please, if you have not opened the course, at least by tonight, just at least if you can just watch the first video. Like Israel was sharing yesterday, most of them 1 week is 10 weeks, right? But we're expecting that Israel has grouped them, right? And you see that at least each week is like 1 hour, some are 2 hours, right? So if you can just spend an hour, watch the video. If there's a practicalize it again, please just let's get to it so that we can start talking going on the same level. Right. By the way, you already know that this is not just for the sake of coding, but the goal is that by the time you're done, we can get to introduce you to a business and you can sit down, look at the problem of the business, and then start solving. But one thing I was saying was that if you look at the course outline, you would see that HTML, CSS is even like at the last place. It started with much more serious matters. That's just to let you know that this is game here, right? All right, Abdulazim. So yeah, let me comfort
yes,
you
sir.
that you started, but please, you've also not started. So it's time to start.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And secondly,
Yeah.
sir, um, when you were talking, when you were previously talking, you actually said something like, you guys learned from Google and from Meta, like directly
Yeah.
from national platforms. So I'm just kind of curious, is this Harvard, is it like on the level of that, like who get same experience that you guys that you got when we were learning the basics and all? We will
Okay.
get same experience or maybe better experience through.
So we did get the same experience, 100%. See, if you are going to take the other courses, really, the honest answer is you won't get the same experience because it will take you way longer time. Way longer time. And I don't know how long it took Excellent to complete those courses, right? The one from Facebook, the one from Meta, the one from and others like from Google and the like. But our advice that this is a good starting point. Once you've started from this point, it is something that maybe when you're going through your phase 2 of the program, you can decide to run that as you're running the projects because phase 2 is no longer course. Phase 2 is project. So if you have some time, you can also still be focusing on other courses. But if you're looking for a starting point, this is the course to start with. I don't know if that is clear. Also, I mean,
Yeah.
if Emmanuel was here, he would have told you that currently, even right now, he's still taking on courses, right? So there's no end, there's no learning point, there's no one course that you can say this is it, right? But this is the beginner's place to start with. That will give you the widest exposure. I would also link you directly into AI. All right.
Yeah, so thank you very much. I'm just thinking that maybe after this 3 month program with these basics, like you said, I don't know
Yeah.
if we can opportunity for you to be able to link us to, I mean, the other, the other professional
Okay.
part of
So
it,
so
like
you know what's going to
yeah,
happen? You know what's going to happen? If you remember this, well, I believe Israel is on the call, so you will take note of this. That by the time we are getting into phase 2 of the program, would introduce you guys to more learning resources. It's a conversation we've even been having on the team, right? Such that you can now, we would show you all the courses that you're going to have. The CS50 program is not for 3 months, please. Just note that this is for just 1 month. So if you are going through this for 1 month, then after the 1 month, you are now getting into who can introduce you. Excellence is going to be here. All the mentors are going to be here to introduce you to different learning places. And we're expecting that you'd actually be learning actively and actively, right? So after phase 1, would introduce you to all of those programs by God's grace.
and two, sir, and lastly, sir, just because of curiosity, I'm sorry, I don't know if maybe the courses will be free, but I don't know. Most of us, I mean that would be another concern. Like after this, the other courses that we're doing, like the meta and the other one that you are
Let,
actually
let, me,
trying to
let
like
me let Excellence speak to
introduce.
this. Let me let Excellence speak to this. Excellent, are you here? Okay, it seems he's not here. But majority of the courses are free. Those that are not free, you can audit them, right? So even from the Harvard program, guys, the one we are doing is called Harvard CS50. Technically, what we are doing is that we are auditing the course, because the course actually has a certificate, but you have to pay some money. And even as of yesterday, I was looking at the platform again, and I was seeing much more broader courses, deeper courses in AI, and I was like, wow. And I saw that you can actually even audit them for free, right? The Google course and all of those ones, they are things that you can apply for and you're going to get in for free. So it's not a problem, right? But guys, let's be focused on this first phase, please and please. Like if you have, okay, Excellence is here now. Please, you can speak. You are muted just in case you are speaking. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I said I didn't hear very well, but I think somebody asked the question of, is Meta or Google free?
Yes, those are the questions.
Yeah, actually, what I would say is that when I took the course is about 4 5 years ago, about 3 4 years ago, and these courses were just mainly pure without the concept of AI into consideration. So what I would advise is that now, okay, let me talk about the free and the free. Right now, you can't access the course again for free because even on Coursera, you can't audit course again. It's now closed. So you can't be able to access them for free again. So what I would advise is that you see this course that they actually say you guys should go through. They actually consider the era of AI in making the course. So instead of you going back to those, because even if you go back to those courses are already outdated. Let me use the word outdated because more things they've improved. For example, I took course with Meta. I was using React. For those of you that knows React JS, React Native, anything React, is Meta people that did it, that built it. So I learned it directly from them. So right now, many versions of React has already come out. So if you go back to that course, it's more like learning outdated something. Let me give you, for example, Python. So I learned Python from Google, and that time it was 3 point something. I think 2 point to 3 point something. But now there's even more advanced Python. I think 3 point is it 8 or 3 point something more advanced. So if you go back to that course, it's more like you are learning dated. Just get what I'm talking about. So because the question is not free or this, the question is it not outdated? So what I'll just do is that leverage the recent course, especially this one CS50 that you guys are going through. Just as Emmanuel have shared earlier, that you can take it once, twice, because it actually has the every fundamentals you need on it for you to now come into leveraging AI. So that's it. So that's the answer I wanted to give.
Okay. Thank you very much. I didn't even know that the courses are no longer free. So I think that answers the question very, 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 very interestingly. Okay. So guys, I think with that we are done. So let's get into build mode. Like that's where I'm waiting for us. Let's just get into build mode. So by the time we're coming on the call for the office hour tomorrow, make sure you're coming, you've started the course, you've registered, you've started, and you started going through it. By tomorrow, we'll start talking about the project. Or maybe you might leave that till Friday or something. But please go through the course, at least the first one that starts with Scratch and several other places. All right. So thank you very much, everyone. Like I say, may the best prepared, may the most committed win at the end of the day. Already looking forward to some of you guys joining our team and seeing what we can do together and build together. But of course, like I said, the best prepared, the best committed. Have a great day, guys, and over to you, Israel, if you have any final words for us.
Okay, no final words from my end. All has been settled for today, I think. So I think we can call it a day official for today. Then I'll drop the update on the rest of the stuff, like the link and all that.
Okay. Thank you. So guys, see you tomorrow for the